start sitting comfortably, whatever that means for you today. Relax your shoulders, close your eyes. We'll give ourselves these next few minutes to really settle in, to find our breathing, and to bring our focus onto the mat. Checking in with your body today, just noticing what it is and how it feels. Every day is different and every day is okay. So whatever we have today is what we'll use today. As we deepen our breath, we can practice that Ujjayi breath. So as you're exhaling, you're hearing that sound like a sigh or a whisper. And then focusing in especially on our feet and our ankles. We're focusing our whole practice on them today. They do so much for us. And so they deserve a little attention as well. And starting here, as we start moving with just a sense of appreciation for those feet, for carrying us around all day. Let's inhale, bring both arms above the head. And exhale, just turn to the right, little twist here, super gentle, not too far just yet. Inhale back to center. Exhale the other way. Good, inhale center. Exhale twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's fold forward over our legs here as far as it's comfortable to go so far. That might be palms, it might be elbows. You can see how it feels. As we bring it up on the inhale, let's place our hands behind us, fingers forward, and then lift the hips up. It doesn't have to be a lot, maybe just a couple of inches, just as much space as you have, we'll use. And then bring that back down. Let's switch the fold of our legs, so the other one is going on top or in front. Sit tall, and then fold forward again over the legs, maybe to palms, maybe to elbows. Bring it back up, hands behind us, fingers forward, and we'll lift the hips up just a few inches, maybe more. Good, let's lower that down. And we'll come onto our hands and knees here. And we'll start with our wrists below our shoulders, knees below the hips, and feet flat on the ground, so the tops of the feet flat. Let's inhale, arch the back. And exhale, round it. Good, inhale, arch. Exhale, round, Marjariasana, that cat pose. Fingers spread wide. And as you're exhaling on this next time, go ahead and curl your toes into the floor as well. And then inhale again. Hold those toes there, curled under. Keep going with your cat. Good, come back to that neutral spine. Release your feet and let's extend the right leg back behind us. Go ahead and press through that heel really strongly, keeping the hips level, and then point the toe. Good, flex again the heel, press that heel back, and the toe. Couple more times, press the heel, make sure we're still breathing, and the toe. One more with the heel, and the toe. Good, bring that leg down. Go ahead and stretch the other leg back. Press through the heels to start. Find the hips level, belly button lifted, support the back. And then press the toe, point the toe. Heel. Toe. Good, a couple more times. Use some strength and intention there. As much as feels good, but make it a very intentional, pressing that heel back like you're gonna reach for the wall behind you. And then point the toe again like that toe is trying to reach for the wall. Last one, heel. Good, and then the toe. Let's bring that leg down. Go ahead and sit back to a child's pose. Couple deep breaths here. And we'll reach our hands to the right. And then reach them to the left, feeling for that stretch down the side of your body. Come back to the center. Let's reach the hands forward, spreading those fingers wide. We'll curl our toes under and lift up to that mountain pose. So to begin with, as we get settled in, let the knees bend if they need to. Maybe walk your heels down one at a time. But really set up that firm foundation under your hands, under your palms, so your fingers are really actively pressing against the mat. As you're looking at your feet here, check that your big toes are just a little closer together than your heels. And then we're going to rise up on the ball of the foot here. And you want to aim your balance over your big toe and your second toe. And then lower the heels back down. Let's do a few more just like that. Go ahead and follow your breath if you'd like. Inhaling to rise. And then exhaling to really sink down. Feel your heart move toward your knees. As those legs get straighter every time, the heel may be ever so slightly closer to the floor. One more like it. Up high. Good, lower down. And if you're like me, your feet probably scooted back ever so slightly, so adjust that if you need to. And then rise up high on the toes again. This time, we're going to lower both heels down to the right. So you're going to be on the outer edge of your right foot and the inner edge of your left foot, and then your heart is still moving toward your knees, so you're feeling that stretch through your left side. Good, let's rise up again to the toes, and then lower them down to the left. Good, inhale, bring it back up, and then lower the heels down again into that mountain nice and steady. Good. From there, let's walk our feet forward here between our hands, pausing in a forward fold. And as you fold forward, take some time to spread your toes out. And if you need to use your fingers to do that, go ahead. Check that your big toes are a little closer together than your heels, and try to put some space between all of your toes. Happy toes, my teacher calls those. Check in with those toes occasionally. If they start to creep back together, see if you can add a little space again. Just fan them out. On the inhale, let's rise up, flat back. Reach those arms. Exhale, hands together over the heart, and let's close our eyes here, balancing in Tadasana. Soften your knees, just let them unlock. Feel your shoulders on top of your hips, on top of your ankles, those toes still spread wide. And with the eyes closed, just feel how your feet adapt to balance you. Feel those subtle shifts they make on their own. Feeling that grounding, that stability through the bottoms of your feet. Start to shift your weight into your right leg, keeping your eyes closed if you can. Just shift your weight into the right foot. The left foot's still on the ground for now, but the weight mostly in your right. And maybe start to lift the heel of the left foot up. We're going to keep the toes down, at least the ball of the foot. So go ahead and rise all the way up to the ball of your foot. So that left foot is still there for balance, but the right leg doing most of the work. And again, feel into those little shifts in your right foot to keep you balanced. Good, let's place the left heel down again. Find your center. Eyes still closed if you can. And then shift your weight left. First, just softening the right leg, keeping the weight on the left, but the right foot completely on the ground. Notice the change. And then slowly start to lift your right heel, maybe coming up to the ball of the right foot. That right foot very light on the floor. Noticing how your left foot adjusts to hold your balance. And we're still breathing. Good, let's let the right heel come down. Fan those toes again. Feel your weight on both feet evenly. And as we inhale, let's step back with the right foot. Coming into a warrior one, so we're gonna really anchor that right foot down. It's pointed out to the side, but then we're rotating that hip forward. So we keep that nice strong warrior one stance. Arms up, shoulders down, but fingers active reaching. And it doesn't have to be a wide stance, really long. Just adjust it so that you can maintain it with that hip coming forward, but you still feel the outer part of your foot really grounding down into your mat. Good, as we exhale, let's float the arms down. Inhale, step forward, both feet together. Exhale, let's fold forward, forward fold. Inhale, extended forward fold, nice and long. And then exhale, forward fold again, maybe a little deeper if it feels good. Inhale, flat to the back, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands down over the heart. And inhale, step back with the left foot. Again, placing the toes so they point out to the side, but those hips are squaring to the front of your mat. We're bending the right knee, anchoring strong into that left leg, and then arms up. Good, let's exhale, arms down. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, extended forward fold, that long spine. And then exhale, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, rise up. Exhale, palms over the heart. And then inhale, rise the arms up and lift up on your toes. On the exhale, let's bring it back down. Nice and slow and controlled. Good, inhale, rise. Again, aiming your balance over your big toe and your second toe. Exhale, slowly lower down. Good, trying to resist that gravity all the way down. So we're coming down in time to the breath, which is a pretty slow movement because it's a pretty small movement. Couple more just like that. Good, and keeping in mind we don't necessarily have to be rising up as far as it's possible to go. Your heel might just clear the floor. We get the weight forward a little bit, and that's okay too. So as much space as you have to use there, go ahead and use it. This next time we come up, we're going to hold it. So on the inhale, bring it up, find your balance, let your arms do what they need to do. Maybe they need to come apart, maybe they need to come to your side. Whatever's going to help you balance is fine. Again, feeling your weight over your big toe and your second toe. Trusting the stability of those ankles. Good, and then slowly, let's lower down, heels to the floor, arms to your side. Close your eyes for just a second, fan those toes nice and wide. Steady breath. On this inhale, let's step back big with the right foot, all the way back to that high lunge. So we're up on that back toe. And your left knee is bent, this right leg as straight as it can be, or we may bring that right knee to the ground if we need to. But if we're up, that leg is straight, and we're balancing on that back toe. Now with the front leg, start to think about kind of pulling your foot toward you. It's not going to move, but you're going to imagine that feeling, or you're going to feel that feeling, but imagine the action of the heel moving in under you. And you're going to feel your hips shift a little bit when you do that. So you're going to square your hips off a little more, and you're going to feel that left foot a little more active against the floor. If it's comfortable to you, go ahead and rise up on that right toe. Or excuse me, left toe, your front toe. Good, slowly lower the left heel down. And then as we exhale, let's dive forward and step forward here. Inhale, extended forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands over your heart. And then inhale, step back big with the left foot coming to that high lunge on this side. So settling in, you're up on the ball of that back foot, and then your right heel just draws towards you a little bit. So again, it won't move, but you feel that shift at your hip and in the with the foot against the floor. And if it's comfortable, see about lifting the right heel, for real this time, the right heel up. Again, it doesn't have to be high. Good, and then slowly lower that back down. And then exhale, step forward and dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, extended forward fold. And exhale, forward fold. Now let's stay in this forward fold for a few breaths. And as we do, giving up the weight of the head, the shoulders, really letting them relax down, we're going to try to move our big toe all by itself. So try to keep the other 4 toes on the ground, and just the big toe is lifting up and down. You can alternate them, you can do them together, whatever you'd like, one at a time. Just get that big toe moving by itself. Now we're going to call on our patience a little bit, our patience and our determination. Still relaxing into that forward fold, so you're feeling that good opening through the backs of your legs. Now try to keep your big toe down and just try to move your second toe. Now you may or may not be able to do this. I really can't. I just get a little bit of space, but we're trying. That's the focus. We're just making that intention that that second toe is going to move a little bit, and we're trying to do that movement without any of the other toes involved. All right, so keep your focus, keep your intention. You might not get a lot of movement, that's okay. Don't lose that focus. Whether you can do it or not, the purpose is the attempt right now. All right, and now move your focus to that middle toe. See if you can get it to move by itself, to lift up on its own. Now try your fourth toe, that ring toe. If it won't lift on its own, see if it can curl on its own, or if it can press down by itself without the other toes involved. Stay with me, don't lose that focus. I know it sometimes feels impossible. Try to keep playing with it. Good, now try just your baby toe. If it moves by itself, see what kind of move it'll make, if it'll lift up, if it'll press down. See how much those other toes get involved, or if you can prevent them. Good. Relax that a little bit. Relax your head all the way down one more time. Notice those hamstrings nice and open now. And let's inhale, flatten through the back or rise all the way up. Hands come together overhead and exhale them down over the heart. Really nice. On the inhale, step wide open, this time to a warrior two. So now, as those right toes are pointed out to the side, left toe is pointed forward, we're letting the hips come down nice and low, but the hips are staying level and the shoulders right above the hips. So in warrior two, very often, we end up shifting like this. So this hip ends up higher. The back hip is higher than the front one. Your pelvis is tilted, right? And then your shoulders are pitched forward as well. But we want to square that all off if we can. So the shoulders are right above the hips, everything level. So here, with that focus on our ankles, on our feet, really feel that connection of the mat to your feet under both, and really allow the outer edge of your foot to press into the ground as well. It's not just this back inner edge, that outer edge is pressing down. Good, on the next exhale, let's bring both hands down to the floor. This time, let's step all the way back to a plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, squeeze all the way up to a mountain. We'll give it a pause here, letting those heels move toward the ground. And then on the inhale, step forward with the right foot this time. We'll come into our warrior two on this side. So again, really checking the levelness of the hips, that right knee over the right ankle, shoulders above the hips, and then pressing all the way into the outer edge of your left foot, your back foot. Good. On the exhale, let's bring the hands to the floor. Take that step back again to your plank or your kneeling plank. Exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, back to mountain. From here, let's walk both feet up between the hands again. Pause again in a forward fold, really letting go the weight of your head and your shoulders. And this time, we're gonna lift all the toes up, just lift them up, and then try to put them down from the outside in. Lift them all up again, and then lower from your baby toe all the way to your big toe, one at a time. Let's do that again. This time, reverse it. Try to lower from the big toe all the way out to your baby toe, which may be a little harder. It is for me. And again. Good, and then all toes up, and then fan them out whichever way you find most comfortable. Try to get as much space between your toes as you can. Fold forward deeply. And then we'll step back to a plank. Pause in that plank here. Straight line from head to heel. And we're going to start a little rock forward and back. So you're just shifting on those toes, pressing the heels back as far as they go, and then rolling it forward nice and easy. Still breathing. Lifting, lifting through the core, support that back. Keep that straight line from your head to your heels. Good, and let's bring the knees to the floor. Go ahead and sit back to a child's pose. And nice and easy, let's roll it up to sitting on our heels, and we'll stay here and curl the toes under. This is one of my very favorite things to do for your feet. Try to get your little toe involved. If your little toe is really small, it might kind of curl up under your foot. So try to spread it out again so it's making contact with the floor. And then try to allow your weight to settle into your heels here. What happens sometimes is we start arching the back as we're trying to relieve that pressure. So really allow yourself to just sink into it right here. I know it can be a little bit intense, so try to take some deep breaths. Focus on that. If you need a little break from it, go ahead and take it. Good. And let's relax that. Give the feet just a second to rest here. And then we'll come into a camel. So you can curl your toes back under here, but now we're sitting all the way up, or kneeling all the way up. So our hips are right above our knees. And you just want to take care that when you reach for your feet, you don't lean your hips back. The hips will stay forward so that we get that arch in the back, which is what our camel is all about. So you can start with your fists on your sacrum on either side of your spine, and then squeeze those shoulder blades together, elbows together, start to lift the chest up, and maybe we stop right here. So we don't want to feel any pain or pinching in the low back. Make sure that's comfortable. If it is, we can try a half camel, one hand down, the thumb on the inside of the heel. Make sure you get both sides if we're doing that, or that full camel, both hands down, hips still forward, and maybe your head rests all the way back. Good, to come up, you can reach one arm up, lead with that arm to rise, and then we'll bring both hands to the floor here, pausing in a neutral spine for just a second. And then sit back to a child's pose. up to sitting, bring our legs in front of us again. And we'll roll ourselves all the way down to the mat, nice and controlled here on the way down. Let's hug the knees in, give ourselves a little rock side to side. And we'll come into just a legs up. So if you want to turn to a wall, if you have a wall handy, you can put your legs up the wall. Or if you have a block or even a pillow, you can set it right under your sacrum, and that makes it just super comfortable and super effortless. Otherwise, we'll bring both legs up here. Feel free to sit on your hands or to hold your hamstrings if you want a little more support. Let your knees bend if they need to bend. But we're going to make circles with our ankles here. So take your time and make the biggest circle you can. Really take advantage of that full range of motion that your ankle allows. Okay, let's switch directions. Good, let it rest. And now we're going to point and flex again, but we want to do it in a couple different parts. So let's start with a flexed foot. So those heels are pressing up. Really curl your toes toward your shins as well. And then we're going to press the ball of the foot up. So the toes are still curling back. And then point the toe. Now when you return, pull the toes back first, and then bring the rest of your foot down. So really keep those toes curling as much as they can. Go ahead and press the ball of the foot up, and then point the toe. Bring the toes toward your foot, the top of your foot, and then bring the whole foot down, heels up. All right, we'll do a few more like that. So it's a 1, 2, point the toes, 3, pull the toes back, and then 4, the heel presses up. Just a couple more. I know they get tiring. Good, keep that focus, keep breathing. Let's do one more. Good, and let that rest. Hug your knees in again. Let's give that a little rock. Good, let's put the feet on the ground here, in line with your hips, toes pointed forward. Try to get a little space between your toes like you've been using. And then let's lift the hips up to that bridge or that half bridge. So the toes still on the ground, the inner edge and the outer edge of the foot both connecting. And then let's lift the right heel, heel down, and then left heel up, heel down. Good, alternate a couple more times. Good, and then if it's comfortable, let's lift both heels up. Again, aiming your balance over that big toe, second toe. Let's put those heels down, and then roll it on down to the mat. Walk your feet out just a little wider, about as wide as the mat, and we'll let both knees come down to one side then the other, back and forth like windshield wipers. Okay, let's bring that up to center, and then stretch your legs out here, arms away from the body for Shavasana, those palms turning up, feet falling open to the side. Let's shake them out a little bit if it feels good, and then let them go. So they're as far open as they can be, as relaxed as possible. Shoulders away from the ears, the breath soft, our minds clear and quiet, finding stillness along with our bodies. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Start to move your fingers and toes. Take time to roll to the right. Again, pausing on your side, just allowing for that change, that adjustment. And coming back to sitting comfortably, whatever that means now. Eyes closed, shoulders relaxed. We'll bring our palms together over our hearts, again with gratitude for our feet, for our ankles, for the work they do every day, for carrying us through this world. And I thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.